So a few minutes in a meditation with me to unplug from how you might have gone about your day if you had not meditated, to really plug into accessing you from your centered, calm, peaceful self. And this meditation is really can be pretty fantastic if you have a full day ahead of you. So let's get started. Let's get started by you standing up and taking some simple stretches. I don't care what other fitness you do. I don't care if you do yoga or not. You still have a body, and your body says, I still need to move. And not just move from the car to work, the car to the grocery store, the car to the house, the car to your kid's school, but just move in general, okay? So for the next few minutes, you move any way you want. Whether it's that you want to stretch your arms up over your head and really start to get some length on the right and left sides of your body that you probably never think about while you're sitting at a desk or a car or in your favorite chair at home. Everything gets all compressed. So I want you to just open things up. As you release every stretch, remember an exhale goes with it. Do anything you want to do. And if you decide you want to come to the floor, onto your hands and knees, and just press your chin to your chest and your upper back to the ceiling, tailbone toward the feet, to stretch out your spine. Hold a lot of tension in our spine, so then our nervous system always gets a message about tension. Just move any way your body is telling you to go. Don't be in a rush. In fact, another opportunity to slow something down in your day by moving slowly, but definitely move. Take some slow head and neck circles, up and around and down. Counter it the other way. Take your shoulders up to your ears, perhaps. Really bring them up high. Squeeze them up there. Drop them down with an exhale. So all I'm doing is just giving you some possibilities. You don't have to follow them. You move in any direction you want, but if you're not quite sure, I'm just guiding for those of you who probably need this stretch where I'm suggesting it. For me right now, I'm taking my left arm across my chest and I'm squeezing it toward my chest with my right hand, my right arm, while pushing like the outer edge of my left arm away a little bit, just a little bit, tiny movement. I'm taking a giant circle with my left arm, kind of like a backstroke. I wish I was in warm water right now, but we're about to have a major storm here on the East Coast. Big backstroke circle with my right arm. Bring my right arm across my chest. So I'm doing what I need to do. The trick is that you don't need to give thought about it. You start moving around and suddenly your body says, I got this. Get your head out of the way and just let me do my thing. And you'll realize, wow, I do feel better. Wow, those are stretches I probably didn't know I needed. My hips are always tight. So I'm standing here right at my kitchen counter and I've got my right leg now crossed over my left thigh. And I'm just resting both arms on the counter as I speak into this, and I'm just sitting. It's like my left knee is bent, and I'm sitting my hips and butt back like it's in a little chair. And I'm getting a massive stretch, the outer side of my right hip and across my right butt. And I'm breathing out. Wow. Okay, I'm going to switch sides. So if you want a hip opening stretch, you just simply cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Flex your left foot so your toes are kind of pulling towards your left knee. And then you just rest your arms on something that will hold you, and then you just sit down a little bit and then sit back a little bit. Remember to exhale. Which means you breathe in and then you breathe out. Okay, just take another moment or two. If you're already in a stretch and it feels good, why don't you just stay there? And if you're not, take your last stretch. And then whatever you're doing, finish out with some giant hip circles. So wide stance with the feet, hands on the hips. Stick your butt way out and over to the right, like you're pressing it into a wall. Circle it back behind you and way over to the left, like you're pressing it into a wall. Press your hips and thighs forward, pull your chest up, squeeze your arms together behind you. Breathe out. Come upright. Okay, very good. Really good. Why'd we do that? Easy. To release some of the tension in the body. Why would I have you do that? So that you might sit still without such restlessness. If you release a little tension in the physical body, you get some blood flow going. Well, it helps your head too. People that really, really have had a long time fitness routine in their life, they know this, that it's as much for their mental fitness, not just their physical body. People that haven't might feel like it's a little difficult to move, but man, you will feel better. Get things moving so you can get flow. Sit comfortably however you like. Grab a pillow, grab blankets, prop your butt up so that your knees are lower than your hips. Bring all 10 of your fingertips together. You can rest your arms down on your thighs. Take a long breath in with me without overfilling. Open your mouth, move it through. Do that again with your shoulders up to your ears. Exhale that all as your shoulders drop down. And as they drop down, press them back a little bit. So now you want to make sure your shoulders are over your hips, okay? Slow this next exhalation coming out of you down. We slow the breath down. It starts to settle us down. Slow the breath down. Take your focus to your thumb tips touching. Your thumb tips touching. Your eyes can be open or closed. And then try this. Shut your eyes gently with your concentration, just like it's just streamlining to your thumb tips touching. You're learning how to harness your mind to focus on just your thumb tips touching. The beauty of this is as you learn to harness your mind on your thumb tips, it keeps working with you as you go about your day. You're just practicing what it is to harness your mind to be more fully concentrated in the concrete moment, right here, right now. As you practice meditation and you do it a little more and a little more and a little more, you will really harness concentration with fuller attention to your concrete here and now. But there's more. Bring your focus to your first fingertips touching together. As you learn to harness your mental concentration in a peaceful way, that quality of peace you are activating, you are accessing an opportunity to go beyond your surface personality thinking self and find something within you. It's already within you, but it's richer. There's a quality to it. And as you learn how to harness your mind to be more present in the here and now, you are bringing a quality of attention and a calming presence, not just to the people around you, but to yourself. It's within you. Feel your first fingers touching. The practice of meditation that you're doing with me is powerful because you're recognizing you have a power within you. You have a richness of quality to you. If you bring a richer quality of calm, if you bring a richer quality of alertness without being hyper alert. If you're hyper alert, if you're hypersensitive, it usually means to me that you've been in a long time survival state and haven't known how to shut that off. At least that's been my experience over and over and over. I'm not talking about a reactive. You'll notice when you're in a survival state, there's a reaction energy to it. And when you are reactive, you're in a survival fight or flight state. Feel your index fingers touching. Feel how you feeling just your index fingers is settling your mind while activating an honest, powerful, powerful calm. And if you have thoughts that are coming up, surfacing, that are not calm, most likely that's not an experience that you're feeling things about that is happening right now. Most likely it's an experience you've already had, and in the survival state, you had to lock down the feeling. Be it pain, be it sadness, be it anger, be it fear, be it an expression of any of that, because you had to do what you had to do to get by in that moment. Feel your middle fingers touching. And take a nice, easy breath in. And a nice, slow breath out. And a nice, easy breath in. And a nice, easy breath out. So getting back to what I was talking about, can you sit with it and be more of an observer? If you have gale force winds of thoughts or feelings that are keeping you from feeling like you can't quite access this portal of peace I'm talking about, it doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It actually means you're on the right track. I know it doesn't feel like it, but we cannot heal until we feel. It doesn't mean you have to feel it all at once. It just means whatever's showing up, whatever's coming up for you today, is just coming up to say, let me move this through. So we can be done with it already, that kind of thing. Sometimes because of that, tears come up in meditation. Happens for me a lot. And I used to get scared. And I used to resist meditating. Move your attention now to your middle fingertips touching. And I wished I had had a mentor kind of walk me through some of this stuff. But your peace is underneath it. And you're in a safe space. In this meditation, I'm right there with you. You're in a safe space. If something comes up, it's okay. It's okay. There's a bigger part of you that says, I can manage this. And it's also within you. And that's part of the energy we're tapping into as well. I guess that's more, the flesh is weak, but the spirit is willing, that kind of thing. Like as a real thing. It's our minds that have been afraid. Just because they've been conditioned for a long time to be afraid. Be afraid of real feelings. Be afraid of painful feelings, uncomfortable feelings. As I'm speaking, keep your focus straight into your middle fingers. Like if you can just envision going into the eye of a storm. Whatever arises for you, go right into the eye of the storm. So you're in it, but you're not getting caught up in it where you're going to collapse emotionally. I mean for the whole day. It's okay to have those moments where you just gotta, feel what you're feeling or shed some tears or whatever it is. Just keep going into the eye of the storm. And it'll move right through you. Feel your middle fingertips touching. And then bring your concentration to your third fingers now. Keep your focus on your third fingers, like it's the eye, not the periphery, the center. Keep bringing your focus back to the forefront of your forehead, like the forebrain. Beam it right into your third fingers touching. Your third fingers are touching. Your thoughts and feelings are you, but they're not the whole you. Like they're, and I don't want to say that in a way that twists your head up. Your thoughts and feelings are not the whole of you. The way you think day in and day out seems like it's you. It's your personality self. Your personality self, like my own, has been comprised by those we were influenced by from a young age, by the belief systems they had, by the things that were told to us, by the things we watched everyone around us do, by the things we were told this is how it is, this is how you do it, this is how you should feel, this is how you shouldn't feel. It's, we've all had our experiences, but they're not the whole story. If we get really, really present to the third fingers touching, we get present to the present. Everything else behind us is past. We can't go back and redo that. And I know so many of us would do so many things different. And our future is going by what we're doing right here, right now. What we're doing today is unfolding into tomorrow, as it did in our past. Third fingers touching. And as you get really connected to a healthy detachment from the past, there's an empty space, there's a blank slate. Feel your pinky fingers touching now. See, I guess that's why it's really helpful for me to move out emotion, just so it doesn't get all, calcified for me anymore. And it helps me to, meditation and yoga and journaling and prayer, walking the beach, therapy, just working with myself every day, mentoring myself every day as an ally to myself, whereas I used to be my own greatest enemy. It helps me to not let the past calcify me and contract me. It also helps me to shake off a lot of stuff and stand up and do the things I need to do. Meditation helps me. Your pinky fingers are touching. To have finally learned how to develop a really stronger sense of self. which means I go inward for my own guidance. I go outside in nature and I get by myself and I walk the beach and I sort stuff out. I do a yoga practice and I sort something out within me. I do this in meditation. I do this in journaling. It's, so therapeutic to just get down on the floor and color with my little kid or paint. It works something out within me, giving myself that quiet. Pinky fingers touching. And what I have found is if I can step out of a survival state from an experience outside of me that creates a survival state, I can just step out of that. I can show up so much bigger. I can show up grounded. I can show up really rooted in calm. In yoga we joke, it's like, helps you to find your inner fireman, like firemen in the burning building. Firemen are calm. All 10 of your fingers are touching now. If your house is on fire, you don't need somebody screaming and freaking out with you. Everyone's going down, You got to step outside of that space. If you're somebody who had a lot of survival human experiences, then your nervous system's probably really triggered easy. Hence the reaction. Hence the fight or flight. Hence feeling it's never quite safe. If you can step out of that space, you can have so much of a spacious, clear, grounded way of going about things. Feel your 10 fingers touching. If you recognize, I have thoughts and feelings that come up in these meditations, they make them really hard. It's because the meditation's saying I'm peeling back the layers of how you got really shut down or contracted or whatever, just to get by. And, but it doesn't have to take out the day. If you're like, wow, I'm really sad today, and I'm just asking you to consider, if you step out of that space, you'll realize, wow, I'm not sad as a personality. It's a feeling. My sadness isn't the whole me. It's the feeling I'm having in the moment right now. Or I'm so angry. Well, you're not angry. Like your first name's not Angry. It's a feeling, though. And so you validate that. So keep in mind, I'm not telling you to minimize anything that comes up for you. I'm just asking you to have just a little more perspective. To do that, you kind of got to detach from a little bit of that stuff and go, okay, I feel upset. I feel angry. I feel sad. I feel afraid, what have you. Rather than the I am, which makes it feel like it's fixed and immobile. Therefore, you're sort of immobilized until it passes. But when you can kind of step back and go, oh yeah, okay, I feel this way. It's like you're giving it some breathing room to move through you, rather than halt it in its own process, if that makes sense. All 10 of your fingers touching. As I guide you through this stuff, I also try to give you a little bit of insight. All 10 of your fingers touching, because that's the here and now. The more you pay attention to my voice, the more I'm just bringing you back to you. But a deeper you, a richer you, a fuller you. It's like you at your best. You being really present. That means we pull you out of your thinking mind a bit. We pull you out of your story. We pull you out of your reaction. These are all the things that meditation does for me. I'm walking this with you. I'm not talking from an ivory tower. I know a lot of people like that, though. And I'm so glad I do, because they became my teachers to really figure out authenticity. We can't talk to somebody from a place we ourselves haven't walked or been through. All 10 fingers touching. Take in a breath. Exhale it all. You take care, okay? Thank you so much. Share this if it helped you. We need all the help we can get. Namaste.